Hey folks, hey, this video is about why the Democrats want mass immigration and why the Republicans have allowed it for the past. This all started in 1965 when Ted Kennedy changed the Immigration Act, if you're not aware. Basically, diversity started in 1965, even though 80% of America, slash basically white people, since I don't know. If you look it up, 95% of the population or more back in 1960 was white. White people never wanted mass immigration from the third world for good reason. I mean, it was going to be in a lot of ways. Why do people think diversity is so beautiful when in reality it creates culture clashes in general? Anyways, if you look at America, it's very segregated. If diversity works, why is every major city basically separated by race, by where people live, and white people constantly move and flee to find areas in general that are more white? Anyways, the Democrats wanted the mass immigration because they knew that 80% of Mexicans vote Democrat, so they could over time take over the vote. They know these people have a lot of babies too. Even though 73% of Mexicans are on welfare, these Democrats don't care. They don't seem to want to live around them, these white Democrats. They're always fleeing the higher crime rates and the higher welfare, and generally don't want their kids mixing either. And the Republicans, greedy Republicans that were rich that allowed this to happen so they could get cheap labor, even though they didn't want to live around these people. They didn't want to live around the higher crime and the higher welfare and the race mixing. They didn't want that. So they all moved, but they live in mansions. Just like, look at Alan Combs. He lives in Manhattan. He's a radio show host. Big liberal, yet he claims he loves diversity, yet he lives in Manhattan. Look at everybody. They're all living at Bill Clinton. They don't live in a diverse neighborhood. If diversity is so great, why don't these people actually live around it? They don't. I mean, they're truly like hypocrites. Oh, I love diversity. It's beautiful and blah, blah. Let's never offend anybody, even though it's true that for white people, this has not been an upgrade. Sorry, the truth hurts. For white people, folks, diversity is like a huge, crazy experiment because the liberals, they're risk takers. And the conservatives are the ones who basically are more responsible and working and clean up the mess. By the way, look at people who voted for Trump. They were the white working class. I mean, if you did a study of who's on welfare, the Democrats by far are more on welfare. 40% of the Democratic Party is non-white. On average, 91.3% of Muslim refugees in America are on welfare. That should, think about that. 91.3. Yeah, I don't care how nice these people are, even though Islamic culture has huge problems. I mean, who cares how nice they are if 91% are going to end up on welfare? No, thank you. We know we need people who are going to help the economy. Plus, it's a huge culture clash, etc. I'll have another video about Muslim society. I've studied politics many years now and thousands of hours, so believe me, I probably know a lot more than you do. So keep up with the videos. 73% of Mexicans are on welfare. You don't believe that? Google that right now. CIS, Center for Immigration Studies. And, Fox News even had a soundbite about it, a story. Just look it up yourself. I mean, so many people, some people deny all this stuff, and they're such idiots. Let me tell you. 51% of blacks are on welfare. The white rate, I believe, is around 28%, and the Asian rate is lower than that. Can't pick on the Asians. They got low crime, low welfare, make much better neighbors. Let's be honest. The East Asian IQ is 105. The average IQ of a white person is around 101. Average black American IQ is 85. Same as a 16-year-old white kid if you're white and want to compare. Average Mexican IQ is like 82 to 88. Look that one up yourself. If you're smart, you'll actually look some of this stuff up. Actually learn yourself. rather than just sit these deniers. They'll never study it. They just deny things they don't like. You guys are so funny, you deniers out there. Anyways, black African IQ, by the way, is 70. Now, you might be wondering, by the way, I've studied IQ testing many years. If you think education can raise IQ, you obviously have never studied this. Education cannot raise intelligence. That's why Africa is still poor and there's no software companies in Africa. Certainly nobody holding them down. Some of these deniers say, white people holding them down in Africa. Yeah, right. That's why everybody in the world is fleeing to come to a white society with all the welfare and richer standards, and they all want to date white women. Really, that's true too. Have you ever studied online dating stats? Yeah. Well, anyways, back, I ramble about a lot of stuff, but the Democrats want the mass immigration because 80% of Mexicans, 80 to 90% of Muslims vote Democrat, folks. They're taking over by mass immigration. Wake up, white people. We're getting invaded by another culture that just votes Democrat because they want the welfare and to fight white racism and basically make us go extinct. And if you think that's not true, you're truly stupid. You obviously have not studied demographics lately. You might want to do that before you talk to me. Anyways, I'm also just going to start a little YouTube debate thing. If you want to debate with me, add me, comment on here, and, we'll debate on Skype camera, and, yeah, I got a lot of facts. I mean, if you don't have, real scientific facts, you're going to look pretty stupid, and that's what's going to happen, Please, have some facts. I actually have real science to prove everything, not just denial because you don't like what I'm saying. Anyways, white people, wake the fuck up. You guys truly are out of your minds, you white liberal Democrats. You're basically voting for your own extinction, voting, go live in Africa, go live in Detroit, go live in Atlanta, go live in Baltimore. If you love diversity so much, you should go live there to see the kind of society that America is going to be in the future. Because not all races are really the same. If all races are the same, why is Africa the way it is? Why is Detroit the way it is? Why is Dearborn, Michigan, everybody's 90% are on welfare, the Muslims. And they're creating their own society there. Yeah, let's just have different culture wars within our country. That's really smart, folks. Let's bring in people totally unlike us and then think it's going to be A-okay. They're just going to want to blend into white Western culture. Anyways, wake up. See you guys later for now.